guys, so we're back and here's our first math topic in these videos. And today we're just doing an introduction to ratio. Ratio is a comparison between two or more amounts. And in this diagram, we're talking about shapes here. So ratio are kind of like fractions, but sideways. So when you're talking about a ratio, the different parts of a ratio are called the terms. It doesn't really matter if they're first or so. This is the first term, the second term, the third term. In this one, we only have two terms, 2 to 3. So you always read them with a 2 in the middle of the terms. So this one would be read 1 to 2, 1 to 3 to 2. And we're comparing here the amount of squares to the amount of circles to the amount of triangles. Okay, and here, this one, we're comparing the amount of triangles to the amount of circles, because it's 2 triangles to 3 circles. You can see in my diagram here. Okay, so sometimes there's always at least 2 terms in a ratio. Sometimes there's more though. So it depends what your diagram shows or what you're comparing. Sometimes we compare girls to boys to a classroom, or chairs to desks in a classroom, or chairs to desks to windows. I mean, it really, just like fractions, it depends on what you're describing, and fractions, it depends on the whole. In ratios, it depends on what you're comparing. So, as I already mentioned, the parts of the ratio are called the terms. You have to have at least 2 terms in a ratio. You can have as many as you want. We don't usually do more than 3 or 4, but you can. Depends again on what you're comparing. Now there's 2 types of ratios. The first one is a part-part ratio. That's when you're describing or you're comparing part of the group to another part of the group. Okay, so in the first one here, we're comparing squares to circles to triangles. They're all parts of the group, and that's the same for both of these first 2. The second 2 ratios here, 1 to 2 to 6, we're comparing squares to triangles to the whole group of shapes. Okay, that's why this is called a part-whole ratio, because the whole means everything. Okay, so if you have, if you include the total amount of whatever you're comparing in your ratio as one of the terms, then you have a part-whole ratio instead of a part-part ratio. And those are the 2 different types of ratios. So this is your introduction to ratio. Again, remember, ratio is a comparison between 2 or more amounts of a group of things. Okay, lots of things, apples to oranges, or there's so many different types of ratios. And then the different parts of the ratio are called the terms. And then we went over the different types of ratios. We have a part-part and a part-whole ratio. Okay, so I hope this makes sense, and we'll be talking about this again. Okay, cheers.